And the angel said unto me, Wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. The beast that thou sawest was, and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit, and go into perdition. And they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was, and is not, and yet is. Revelation 17:7-8. On the 21st of July, 2024, President Biden made the announcement that he would be withdrawing from the presidential race.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel Scott at ABC headquarters here in New York. We are coming on the air at this hour with breaking news. President Biden has just announced that he is ending his re-election bid. Just moments ago, the president tweeted out, "It has been the greatest honor of my life to serve as your president. And while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party and the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in more detail about my decision."
When we take a deeper look at this event, it becomes obvious that this is another satanic ritual meant to exalt the devil and his antichrist. So without further ado, let's get into it. Remember, it was only a few short weeks ago when Biden said this.
Look, I mean, if the Lord Almighty came out and said, Joe, get out of the race, I get out of the race, the Lord Almighty's not coming down.
Subsequently, Biden has made an about face and chosen to drop out of the race. Like I said previously, in response to Biden's comments, the Lord God Almighty indeed is coming down. At 1:45 p.m. Sunday, July 21st, Biden's senior staff was notified that he was stepping away from the 2024 race. At 1:46 p.m., that message was made public. Strong's Concordance lists H 145 as Ader, which means glory, magnificence, to make glorious, illustrious, to become magnificent. It also means to pay a magnificent price. Make note of this reference to paying a magnificent price, as we'll come back to it later. Strong's also lists H 146 as Adar, which means exceeding glorious, to be made great and majestic. This is a reference to the coming Antichrist, who will glorify and magnify himself, as found in Daniel 11:36, which declares, "And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done." This is further confirmed by the date of his announcement, which was July 21st, or 7/21, which points to Daniel 7:21, which declares, "I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them." Moreover, Strong's Concordance lists H 721 as Ervad, which means "I shall break loose," as a reference to a fugitive, which is a person who has escaped from a place, one who has broken God's yoke and wanders about unbridled towards God. The mention of one who escapes as a fugitive and wanders about unbridled by God points us to Abaddon or Apollyon, who escapes from hell when he is set free or released from the bottomless pit, as found in Revelation 9:11. This is confirmed by the number 21, which can be expressed as 777, which points to the lightning which fell from heaven, and the phrase Barack Obama, as found in Luke 10:18, which describes Satan falling like lightning from heaven. Not only that, but the day of the week Biden made this announcement, Sunday, further points us to Barack Obama, whose logo is the rising sun. This decision to drop out of the race by Biden is not only of historical significance, but also seems to foreshadow a prophetic event, as we have been discussing the potential candidacy of Michelle Obama for the presidency since January 1st.
Apparently Obama's always said, I wish I would have been on the ticket because I would have beat President Trump.
Yeah, well, I think it's a hostile takeover because there is no Biden campaign. It doesn't exist. There's barely any staff. He doesn't go anywhere. He doesn't go anywhere, Jessica. And I think the Obamas are flabbergasted that Joe keeps saying, we got this, when he clearly doesn't have this. The guy got so lucky. He only won last time because of a once-in-a-100-year pandemic. And then big intel election interfered. That's the only way he got into the White House. So I heard Michelle Obama do an hour-long podcast yesterday. And she's talking about Gaza, she's talking about the border, she's talking about what keeps her up at night. And this may be even her saying, listen, I'm option 2 if the convention rolls around and Joe hits his head again. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but she's putting herself out there.
Although right now, the spotlight is on Kamala Harris, she has not yet won the Democratic nomination. The Democratic National Committee has said that they will push forward with a virtual roll call that will be completed by August 7th, or 8/7, 12 days before the DNC begins. Now watch this. Strong's G87 is ariakritas, which means without partiality, to make a choice and to select someone during this time and by these means. Clearly, Kamala Harris has received partiality because of her position as vice president and through Joe Biden's endorsement. Further, Strong's G12 is abyssos, which means the bottomless pit of hell, the abode of demons. This lets us know that this selection will come directly from the king of the bottomless pit. Therefore, there remains a distinct possibility that Michelle Obama will be drafted by the committee as the reluctant last hope of the Democratic Party to secure the presidency.
His soul.